So before I started Vue 2 and October CMS series, I told you that we will probably be getting back to the making websites with October CMS series. And this is the episode where I do that because a lot of you requested that we cover some more topics about October CMS. One of those topics, one of the most requested topics was how to make filters for your front end. So how you can filter your content on the front end of your site. So for example, for our movies, we can filter them by year or by genre. So I'm going to show you how you can do that using October's component system, and in the next episode I will try to do the same thing but using Vue.js or maybe October's Ajax framework. I'm not still sure about that, but in this episode we are going to do it the October way using October's components. So we already covered making components for October CMS in the previous episodes, so if I'm going too fast for you, maybe revert to those episodes and check out how you can make components. But for now we are just going to go to plugins, watch, learn, movies, and now we have this components folder, and in that folder I'm going to create a new folder called filter movies. And that folder is going to contain default.html file, just like we have for the actor form and actors. Okay, so now we have filter movies and default HTML, and in that default HTML I'm just going to put an h1 tag and say hello. Okay, so that we can see that our component actually works. Next thing we need to do, we need to create the PHP file for our component, and it's going to be called filter movies. Okay, and in that file we can just copy the same thing that we have right here. So in our actor form.php, I'm just going to copy that so that we don't have to write it. Okay, so we will not be needing the validator, the redirect. We are going to use movies as a model, not the actor, and we are not going to need a flash messages. Okay, so we extend our component base class with our own class, which is going to be called filter movies. Okay. And now we have to go to our plugin.php file, copy this, paste it right here, and define our component. So we are just registering that component right here. Okay, we save that. Of course, nothing is going to happen on our page just yet. We first need to go to our theme, Olympus, go to pages and create a new page, and I'm going to call that page filter movies. Okay, and I'm just going to go to, let's say, add actors.html, copy all of that from it, paste it right here. The title is going to be filter movies. The URL is going to be filter movies. The layout is default, hidden is not hidden. We don't need this session right here, and we want to call the component filter movies that we just created. Okay, we can just write filter movies right here. And we want to call the filter movies component onto our page. Okay, save this, and as I said, we created this URL filter movies. So if I go to that page, we get an error, of course. Let me see. So component class not found, filter movies, check the component plugin. So I probably screwed something up. Let me just see. So this is called filter movies.html. Sorry about that. Okay, let's try it again. So we have another error. Filter movies contains one abstract method and must Okay, so we probably should have added this to that component. So we have to define it. I forgot about that. Right, so we define a component details, and now try to refresh the page, and finally we get hello. So this hello is coming from this default.html file. If I save it again, we will get this. Okay, so we created our component. Now let's just make that component filter our movies. So what we want to do right here is we want to first of all display all of the movies that we have, and we want to have two controls. So one for filtering years of the movies and the other one for filtering the genres of the movies. So we are going to do that right now. Okay, so first of all, we want to display all the movies on our page. So how do we do that? Well, I'm going to create a function, protected function, that is going to give us all of our movies. Okay, so now we have this protected function filter movies. We just do a query for all of the movies, and then we return that query. Now we need a way to tell to October, okay, so once this page is loaded, display all of these movies. So first of all, we have to create another function. This is going to be a public function called onRun. This is the function that you get with October. Okay, so what I said right now is when you run this page, revert to this function, which is called filter movies, and display all of the movies, actually get all of the movie data. So if I do something like this right here, so instead of return, I'm just going to do die and dump. And if we refresh this page, you get this collection of all of the movies that we have. So this is our first movie and so on. So this is the Laravel collection of all of the movies that you have. Now we have to display those movies on our page. And to do that, first I'm going to set this to be public. So public movies. And then we are going to go to default.html file and do a twig command, and then you do filter movies, so the name of your component movies. So now we are getting all of our movies to this page so that we can display them. And if I do something like so I want to display all of the titles of the movie. If I save this, refresh the page. Okay, something went wrong. And that something is that I suck at naming stuff. So this is not movie title, but movie name. So if I go right here again, refresh it, we get all of the movie titles, which is called name in our database. Okay, so of course we don't want it to look like this. We already have a list of all movies. So I can just go to my theme, search for movies right here, and just copy all of this, right? So this is our movie list. So when you go to movies, you get this movie list. We can just paste that right here. So our variable is also called movie and movies. So this should actually work out of the box. As you can see, now we get the list of all our movies. There is just one more thing I want to do right here. So I'm just going to display the genres of the movie, since we are going to be filtering the movies by genre and by year, so that you can see those results. Okay, let's just check it out. Okay, so as you can see now we have action, documentary, teen comedy, drama, romance, thriller, and so on. So I just added this for loop right here, which is going to go through the genres of all of the current movie and just display them right here in this small tag. Okay, so let's create our actual filters right now. So we are going to have those filters in our default.html file. Those are going to be two select fields. So form Okay, so first of all, I'm just going to create this year filter so that we can see how this works. If we go to our page right now and refresh it, we get that filter right here. So we have a year, and then we can choose between 2014 and 2015. As you can see, nothing happens just yet because we also need a button that is going to filter our movies. So we need a submit button because this form doesn't know that it needs to filter something until we click that button. Okay, now we save this. And now we have this filter button. So if I choose year 2014, click filter, it's going to go to the same page that we are currently on. But as you can see, we get this URL argument or property or parameter, whatever you want to call it. And it's called year equals 2014. So we now need to make use of that year to display only the movies that are in the year 2000, that were made in the year 2014. Okay, so how do we do that? So we are going to go to our filter movies.php file. And now, as you know, first of all, we always need to, whenever someone gets to our page for the first time, we want to display all of the movies. So we covered that by doing this. So query equals movie all. Okay, we are displaying all of the movies. But now we are getting that parameter from our URL, and that parameter is called year. Okay, year equals input get year. Okay, so since we have this parameter right here, this is actually basic PHP stuff. We can die and dump it and see what we get. So if I refresh this page right now, you see that we get 2014. So this is our year variable. So the only thing we need to do right now is in some way change this query. So we don't want that query to be movie all, but we want it to be all the movies that have the year 2014. So to do that, we would actually use a where function of Laravel, and then we can filter those movies that way. So if I just do if, so first I'm doing if, so if the year is present, because if you come to this page for the first time, then the year would be empty, right? So once you filter it, now we have this year. So we say if year, then query is equal to something else. It's not movie all, but something else. So this actually pretty much reads like English. So we say if the year is present, if we have the year, then find me all the movies where the year is equal to this year, and then get those movies. So get the movies that have the year that we have in our URL parameter. And that should actually be it for years. So if we go to this page, refresh it, as you can see, we only get 2 movies. So we get this one and this one. These are all in 2014. But if I remove this URL parameter from here, then we get all of the movies. Okay, so let's try it for 2015, and we only have 1 movie in 2015. Now if we put it to 2014, we get those 2 movies, and that's it. Okay, of course, you don't want this to be hard coded. Later in this episode, I'm going to show you how you can display all of the years that you have your movies in, so all of the unique years for your movies. But let's try to do the same thing for genres right now. Okay, so this one is going to be called genre. Okay, let's just put action and drama right here and try to do the same thing for if we have genre in our movies. So I'm just going to go, actually we will need to do something like this. We need to have an option that is any. So the option that doesn't have any value, and the same thing right here. Okay, so now we say if genre is present, and the genre is going to be the same thing as year, except it's going to be called genre. Right? So if genre is present, now the query for genre is going to be a bit more complicated than this one, because remember, we are getting all of the movies, and movies have genres. So movies belong to genres and vice versa. Genres belong to movies. So we need to find all the movies and then find the genre of every specific movie and then filter that. So that's a bit more complicated, but not so complicated as you will see, because we have the power of Laravel behind October CMS. So we can do that actually pretty easy. Okay, so I think this should be it, what we told October right now. So do a query for the movie that has genres. So some movies may not have genres, so you have to do where has genres. And if it has a genre, then filter out all of the genres that have the slug of genre that we sent. So because in this select box, actually this option box, the value of our genre is the slug of the genre, because they should be unique. So that should actually be it. Let's just try it right now. Refresh this page. I'm just going to delete this URL parameter, and now we have genre, action and drama. If I click action and click filter, and now no, something is wrong right here. Oh, so I copy and pasted this, so the name of this should be genre, not year. So let's just refresh this page and see if it works. Actually, it won't work because we have to change this parameter. And now it works. As you can see, all of these movies have the genre of action. Right? There are a lot of them. Also, if we change it to drama, now we don't get any movies with drama because I don't know. Okay, now we get them. I just don't understand why this, no. So I, of course, misspelled value. Okay. Now let's try it. Drama. And now we get all the movies that have the drama as their genre, as you can see right here. There's also a lot of them, but now we have to create a case where user selects a year and a genre. So to do that, we just go right here. We say, so if there is a genre and a year, then we just copy this. And instead of just doing get right here, we also do this. Right? So we would first query the genres, and then we would query the year of the movie, and then we will get the movies that are in a certain genre and in a certain year. Okay, save this, refresh it. Actually, let me just remove this URL parameter. Now we get all of the movies, and let's see. So this movie is made in 2014 and has an genre of action. So let's set this to 2014, and the genre should be action. And if we filter it, we get this. If we say 2015 and action, we get this movie. Okay, so as you can see, this works. Now we have all actually that is left to do is we have to make it so that these values right here are not hard coded. So we are going to be doing that right now. Okay, so let's first do it for the genres, because as you will see, they are easier to display. I'm just going to copy this and do set genres to be filter movies genres. Okay, save this. Now we have to go to our filter movies.php and define those genres. And genres are easy because the genres are a custom type in our October CMS database. So we can just do these genres genre all. So these genres, this genre all. Okay, so this still won't work until we use the genre right here and make it public. Okay, now we go right here and just do a for each loop. Okay, now if we say this, we should do a for loop right here, which should display all of our genres, and for the value we are setting to be genre slug, and the titles should be genre title. Okay, if I save this and refresh the page, of course we are getting an error as with everything in this video. So filter movies line 19. What's on line 19? So genre all. Why is this? Okay, so no, not this genre all, but just genre all. Okay, refresh it, and now if we click genres, we are not getting any genres for some reason, and I don't know why. Okay, why aren't we getting any genres right here? So genres is filter movie genres. Okay, so the error is of course a typo. Most of the errors are always a typo. Okay, let's hope this works now. So if I refresh it, now we get oh, sorry. Okay. So I was trying to do something behind the scenes just to see if it will show up. So I put 646 in. So okay. What is this? The 5th time that we are trying it. Okay, It should work now. So now we have action, teen comedy, drama, thriller, romance, and so on. Okay, so we made the genres. Next thing we need to do, we need to unhardcode the years. So to do that, I'm actually going to create a new function which is going to be called filter years. And I'm doing it this way because we actually have to calculate the years. So remember, you have 100 movies and those 100 movies belong to certain years. Now those years can be duplicates. So you can have a few movies that are in the year 2015 or 14 or whatever. So we have to go through all of those years and make them unique and sort them so that we would get the years from the most distant year to the present. So to do that, I'm just going to first of all query all the movies. Okay, now we have all of the movies, and now we are going to go through these movies and create an array of years. So we first create an array. It is going to be an empty array, and now we are going to go through all of the movies. Okay, so I'm going with for each through this query, and I'm setting a variable of movie. And now I'm just saying it go through all the movies, pick out the year of the movie and put it in this years array. Now if I die and dump it and actually call it right here, so when I run this or refresh the page, I of course get an error. Come on, what? Okay, so this is missing a $sign. Okay, refresh it. Now we get all of the years, but as you can see, some of those years are duplicated because we have multiple movies in the same year. So what we need to do right now, we need to make those years unique. So to do that, I'm just going to do years. And now if we die and dump years, we should get a much shorter list. So if I save this, refresh it, as you can see, now this year only has 41 entries in it. So this array with years. Okay, so now we have our years. Now I'm just going to go and return those years right here. We are already running this function when we run when the page loads, so on run of the page, and we have to make those years public. Okay, and now we have to set them right here. And just like we did with the genres, we will make a for loop and put all the options in that for loop. Okay, save this. Let's hope it works. Okay, now of course we are not getting any years, and we are not even getting any genres right now, so I screwed totally. This episode is totally screwed. Okay, so for year in years, why aren't we getting anything? So okay, I have to stop copy and pasting stuff, because of course when I do that I make mistakes, very much so. So this years instead of genres, because I just copy pasted this. Let's hope this works right now. Okay, so we have all of the years and we have all of the genres. But as you can see, these years are not particularly well sorted. So to do that, you can just use a tweak function. You can sort them in this filter if you want, but it's much easier to just use a tweak function of sort. And if we refresh it, then we should get years from 1970 to 2016, as you can see. Okay, so after many mistakes, we actually made this filter hopefully work. So let's try it out. So let's filter out all the movies from the 1970s. So we have only one. Let's say 84. So we have 2 movies in 84, and those 2 movies have one of those movies has a genre of thriller. So let's say 1984, and the genre will be thriller. So we should get only this movie right here. As you can see, this works. So this is the way you create the filters for your content with components. Of course, if you're going to have more complicated filters, then this part of your code should be more complicated. Okay, so this has been a pretty long episode with many mistakes, but we finally got everything to work. As I said at the beginning of the episode, I will try to make the next episode do the same thing but with Ajax or Vue.js. I will see about that. Okay, so remember, everything we did here will be available for you on GitHub. The link will be in the description below. If you want to ask me questions, you can do that on Facebook, Twitter, GitHub, whatever. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the mistakes that I did, then give it a thumbs down, and please subscribe to my channel if you like the videos I put out. If you want to send some money my way, you can use the Patreon page for that. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.